So as I was watching the video, I decided to start with the first method of putting paint directly on the canvas. Then I used a larger brush to move the paint around. Didn't like how teal it was, so I added some more purple, painted the sides, and then just left it here to dry for a little bit and moved on to the next one. For this one, still using a larger brush, I dipped one edge of my brush into the red and the other edge into the teal to employ the method of layering the paint on the brush. I did this a couple times to layer it on the canvas, and then I decided to move on to the third canvas with a smaller brush employing the same technique. For this one though, however, I decided to try more colors, and I used teal and yellow this time. And then I covered the entire canvas, blending the colors together. I remembered how much I did not like Tempera Paint as I was working on this portion of the canvas because it did not blend together as nicely as acrylic or oil paint would, even watercolor. It was really watered down, and I was kind of struggling, so you can kind of see me struggling here a little bit. But then I painted the sides of the canvas and then moved on to my fourth canvas. After I finished touching up my third canvas, I then moved on to my fourth canvas, where I decided to, again, switch up my colors and use some blue and purple this time. I wanted to practice blending more, but as I was blending, I did kind of struggle a little bit with this, where it kept getting patchy on the sides, and I could have waited for it to dry and then layered, but decided to actually use this to create textures. And while I was creating textures, I decided to scrape some of the canvas away to create a jellyfish, just like the example was shown to us in the video. For my fifth canvas, I then wanted to practice blending more, where I decided to use a smaller brush and kind of take my time a little bit more. I painted up the values, cleaned my brush off, and then went over the seams to blend it out further. I was a lot happier with this outcome after taking a step back and trying it again. And then for my final canvas, I kind of just wanted to experiment more with colors and also textures because I really enjoyed creating the textures. So for this one, you can see I applied some cool colors and black, and then went over it with my fork to create a lot of different vertical lines to make it look like rain. I'm really excited to see how this dries, if it was kind of giving the effect that I wanted it to. Lastly, I went back over my second canvas with red just to see how layering would work and reactivating the paint. And when it went over the green, the teal, I really enjoyed how it actually muted the green and showed a darker muted red. I'm really excited to employ all these techniques in my first assignment, and I really can't wait to also add some mixed media to kind of make a more advanced option for my high school students. Come back in a couple days to my channel to see which lesson I create to add to our curriculum.